Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, we are back. It is Wednesday, which means it is our NFL Week in Review show here on the Flex Network, live on the Facebook and live on the YouTube. Man, it's finally here, guys. It's finally here. Super Bowl 55. Never thought we'd get here.
Oh man, it's been a crazy one. One hell of a season.
Oh yeah. So you guys know who I am. I am the Snowman, and normally I'm joined by my partners in crime, Flex, Mike, and Cowboy Cam. But apparently they're in some alternate universe right now where work is predominantly done and they're on vacation. So I need a partner in crime. And I went and called my good old buddy, Mr. Anthony AJ. Say hello to the people.
How's it going tonight, guys? Mike, Cowboy Cam. Hope you guys are not working too hard, enjoying your vacation. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh yeah, next week the season finale of the 2020 season. Holy heck, we're getting it done here, guys. We're almost done for the 2020 season. Alex Torres checking in on the show for the week. Let me change our little pop-up because it's a lot better. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, Alex Torres, thanks for checking in, man. Yeah, you made it every week, man. You made it every week to the show, and we appreciate you checking in and dropping in and joining the fun with us. But yes, we have arrived at Super Bowl 55. And who would have thought back in September, we'd be sitting here today saying for the first time in NFL history, we have a host team in the host city playing in a Super Bowl.
A few years ago when Dallas hosted it, I think it was like one of the last times they did. That Dallas, America's team. And that would have been cool on the biggest stage of the NFL. Seeing the Cowboys in there a few years ago, didn't happen. Now we got the Buccaneers in there. A couple of personnel changes will do to a team.
Oh yeah, personnel changes, a quarterback change, and bringing in the GOAT, Tom Brady, all the way up from the frozen Boston area to sunny and hurricane-ridden Tampa Bay. What up with that? How are we, saying that Tampa Bay in a Super Bowl and hosting it this year and going up against the reigning, defending Super Bowl 54 champion Kansas City Chiefs out of the AFC.
And
looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty on that end from my buddy. But yeah, we're getting a little bit this is just, super fun to say the least, that we're going to get Kansas City versus New England Patriots. Oh, hopefully he's, okay again, Are you back?
I am back.
Okay. So yeah, AFC chip, Kansas City Chiefs have a chance to become two straight repeat champions. First time since, New England did it.
The Patriots did it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and then another thing on that, it is it's one of the few times that the two defending AFC conference champion quarterbacks, and well, in this case now Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, have actually
Mm-hmm.
met in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So these two quarterbacks know each other very well. They know
Yeah.
what
Yes,
each
they
other's going to
do.
try to throw at them. Oh, it's going to be a good game. It's going to come down to whose defense is going to want it more.
Oh yeah, it's going to be who wants it more, and even with Tom Brady, I mean, being the first quarterback, I want to say I believe that this is the first time I've ever seen it. A quarterback winning not only an AFC championship and a Super Bowl, but having an NFC championship and playing in the Super Bowl
I
with
did
an
some research
opportunity
on
to
this.
win.
I don't think any other quarterback has done it.
Wow. That just shows you how much of a goat this guy is. I mean, he's won many Super Bowls up in New England since what, 2001, 2000, I want to say,
2001 is when he
playing
took over
against,
for Drew Bledsoe.
yeah, well, took over as emergency backup because Drew Bledsoe got injured and they ran
Oh, badly
roughshod the
punctured his
rest.
lung and just wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a gruesome injury. I mean, if you go back and look at the play where he got injured and was taken out, it was not pretty.
yeah, for that
That
fellow
just opened
Cougar
the
right
door
there.
for Tom Brady, and just and he took that opportunity and he ran with it.
He ran all the way through,
Belichick gave him an
into the
inch and
playoffs.
he took it a
Took
million
20
miles.
miles. Yeah. Literally ran roughshod. They made all the way to the playoffs. By the time Bledsoe was ready to go, he played it. I believe he got the start in a playoff game, and then they made the change. Actually, no, he got the start in the Super Bowl. They made the change, and then Brady. The rest is history.
As they say, the rest is history. Yes.
Multiple MVPs, multiple Super Bowl titles under his belt, Pro Bowls, you name it.
I think the only year that Brady hasn't really made the Pro Bowl was 2001 and then 2008 when he tore his ACL week 1.
Yeah. Now, don't be misguided here. We're just recognizing real right here in Tom Brady. We're not ignoring Patrick Mahomes. I mean, dude,
We'll get to Patrick. We'll get
we're
to
gonna get to
Mahomes.
Patrick in a short moment because think about this: the Kansas City Chiefs last year, 50 years later from their inaugural title, from their first ever Super Bowl title, they win the title 50 years later, and it was a great moment. Now, had we known back then, a year later, that all that celebration, all those fans in the stands was going to be the tall tale sign of what was to come the following year. But 50 years later, that's just a tremendous accomplishment to win a Super Bowl 50 years later on the dot with a young quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, no, it was a great moment for Chiefs fans. And actually, I've got a couple of good friends who are Chiefs fans, and their parents were Chiefs fans, and their parents were no longer with us when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. So it was incredibly special for them to be able to see that happen again and then share it with their kids. And this is where and a lot of people last year with how well the Chiefs were doing were like, well, they're going to choke at the playoffs. They're not going to make it happen. They're going to get the playoffs and they're going to choke.
Well, obviously
Mahomes
they
was
didn't.
Like, hold my drink and watch this.
Yeah, I mean, think about it: 14-2 for the season, and a no preseason-esque season. No fans, of course. I mean, some places, yes, there were fans. I think KC had fans. I want to say
KC had fans. Tampa Bay's had fans.
Yep. Kansas City finishing out 14-2, 4-2 in the division. Only losing to, surprisingly, the Raiders, splitting with them, and I believe they lost to the Chargers. If I'm not mistaken, they lost to the Chargers too.
Yeah, they lost to the Chargers.
Yeah, so they split with the Chargers this season.
But you know what? Every year, the Chargers and the Raiders, when they go up against the Chiefs, and it's been like this for, oh, heck, as long as I can remember, they're always tough, hard-fought games.
Mm-hmm. And think about it, in the
It
brand
doesn't
new
matter what
stadium
either of
this
those
year.
teams are doing any year. They're just, they've got that one team that they're just a massive thorn in that side.
Mm-hmm. You're reading my mind. I mean, literally, I've said this almost every time on this show throughout the regular season that the Miami Dolphins, for past years have been the team that was never, was not always, top tier, but they are always that team in the thorn of someone else's side, whether it be New England for the last several years, where New England would go on this
the miracle of
tear
the fourth
through.
quarter.
They would go through on this tear, and then they play Miami in Miami or in Boston, and they would lose. I mean, granted, this year Miami came out swinging for the fences, and
it was
had a
bottom of the
great
ninth,
year.
bases loaded, and Miami was going for it. They were going for that. They were going for it all.
Oh yeah, to finish second in the AFC East, but 3 games back of the Buffalo Bills, who literally swept the division, literally 6-0, 13-3, and made it back to the playoffs and won a playoff game, first time since the 4 Super Bowl
25
disasters.
years.
Dude, all you have to say is Buffalo Bills and 4 Super Bowls. You know the rest.
Well, yeah. And if you say that in Buffalo, you're going to get punched in the face.
Or just tossed over Niagara Falls.
I think that'd be a little less. I think that'd be a little more merciful of a death.
In a barrel.
Yeah, I think that'd be more merciful.
Unfortunately,
but back on Kansas City, going 14-2 this year, and and just the way that they got everything done with no preseason, only training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, a lot of the bigger name sports casters are going to put a lot of their credit on Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put all of the credit on
coaching.
Mahomes. You got to give credit to Andy Reid and his coaching staff and what he put together. The way that man can run a football team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about this. Patrick Mahomes this year, 4,740 yards in passing. That arm got some workout. A 66.33 completion percentage, 38 touchdowns, only picked off 6 times this season. That is impressive. I mean, not really a rookie, but for a second year straight Super Bowl appearance, damn, that's not too shabby right there.
No, it's not too shabby at all. And, and it helps when he's got awesome receivers on both sides of him. Got some big tight ends to throw to. We can just go up and go get that. You throw a jump ball, and he has that trust with his receivers and his tight ends that you're going to go up and get that.
Oh yeah, they have that trust up there in KC. And then on the flip side, I mean, think about this: Tampa Bay finished second in the NFC South, 1 game back, one game overall to the Saints and Drew Brees. 11-5. They won 4 out of their they were 4-2 in the division. Saints swept the season at 6-0 in the division. But Tom Brady, I know there, a lot of other players we could be talking about in, down there at Tampa Bay, Gronk, the defense, but Tom Brady, 4,633 yards, under a 65 and almost 65.74% completion rating, and then 40 touchdowns and was picked 12 times. So some similarities, double the interceptions on Brady's part compared to Mahomes, but I feel like again, that's
Well, those 12
experience right there.
interceptions that Brady threw this year, he played some really good defenses, though.
Oh yeah.
He played that defense in Green Bay. He had to play that defense in New Orleans twice.
Mm-hmm. And they
And that's
lost.
where actually a majority of his interceptions came from were those two games against New Orleans.
Exactly. I mean,
They had
literally
his number.
out of the gate, the first game of the season, you only lose by 11. You lose, to the Saints 34-23. And then you meet up with them 8 weeks later on week 9 and you get your asses handed to you 38-30.
On a silver platter.
Literally. So, I mean, those are the only two losses that they had in the NFC East right there. Or sorry, NFC South. So, it was a great uh learning curve, at least in Tampa Bay's eyes. I mean, yeah, they had what? Before their bye week, they had 3, 4, they had 5 losses. And their bye week was week 13. So they were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 5.
At the bye
7 and
week.
5 at the bye week 13. That's okay. But then you go on this tear through the rest of the season, 14, 15, 16, 17. You win all your games, you're in, and you just go screaming through the playoffs. You beat the whatchamacallits. You get payback on the Saints in the divisional game. Conference game, you take down Aaron Rodgers and that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, up in Green Bay. You don't host a game at all, except now you're going to host Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. And they will be wearing their home jerseys, ladies and gentlemen. They have been designated as the home team.
That they have, and the NFL is still going to keep this as neutral as possible because usually the Jolly Roger will fire off one of their cannons.
Oh,
when they score a touchdown. That is not happening.
And dude, you're reading my mind. That's what I was going to bring up next. The fact that
score a touchdown.
The fact that I was going to bring that up next. The fact that they're going to keep it as neutral as possible. The Jolly Roger, you can see right behind me, down here in Tampa Bay, that cannon fires off, at the beginning of the game and at all the touchdowns for the Tampa Bay Bucks. That cannon will be silent until end of the game for, Tampa Bay to pick up the win. Because what we're hearing is they win. Oh, that cannon's going to be firing long and loud. Ladies and germs.
That's what I'm hearing too.
But I just literally cannot believe we finally made it to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be I believe it's going to be a great game. Other things for the week. The other big story, the big bombshell of the week. Detroit and the Rams dropping bombshells of their own.
Boy. Bombshells. Boy. They dropped atomic bombs, dude.
Literally. I have to bring up
what Detroit gets Jared Goff, and that's it. The Rams, they get Matthew Stafford, 2021 first-round pick, 2022 first-round pick, and I think a 2023 first-round pick.
Yeah, I'm bringing up the exact trade details that 3 days ago, guys. I mean, this is just literally crazy, to say the least. Matthew Stafford is gone from the Motor City. He is no longer a cardiac cat. He is now an Hollywood Ram. And Golf is leaving the bright city of Hollywood and going to the Motor City. Hopefully that old cat will get a brand new purring engine up there. which I did not think that this was going to be happening. Literally, I went to sleep 3 days ago, or 4 nights ago, and I'm like, didn't really have anything thought about it. Wake up and you hear the news that Detroit and LA have decided to switch quarterbacks. And you trade
And all
Matthew
we can do is just
Stafford
go, what in the hell happened?
for 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. That is just so crazy. But this also brings up the big question, and you and I were talking about this before we went on the air. The fact that at least in my view, that Matthew Stafford leaving Detroit, was it under the impression that I'm thinking of, that was under the impression that Matthew Stafford, again, he could have, probably he said he didn't want to be there anymore. Was it more or less, instead of, letting him go to free agency, buy him out, whatever, was it more along the lines of Detroit wanting to get rid of Matthew Stafford and trying to offload him and see what they can get? And obviously they got Jared Goff. Or was it just more along the lines of Matthew Stafford wanted to get out of there because he had enough and wanted to test the waters and probably go see what, another city, and try to get a feel out of there? Because you got to think, Matthew Stafford's been there for so many years as a Detroit
What was
Lion.
he drafted? Number 1 overall, 2008, wasn't it?
I believe so. Let me double check on that on my end. He was drafted 2009.
Okay, so I was a year off. That's right, because they got him first overall pick the year after they went 0-12.
First overall in the 2009 draft. And he has been a Detroit Lion through and through. So 12 years, maybe, 11, 12 years right there. I want to say, if my math is right.
12 seasons there, because 2009 to 2020. So we're looking at about 11, 12 seasons, somewhere in there.
Yeah, literally, he has a lot. He has some damn good records. I mean, comeback player of the year in 2011, a Pro Bowl in 2014, NFL records, most passing attempts in a single season in 2012 was 727. First player in NFL history to complete 60% or more of his passes in each game in a season in 2015. Most fourth quarter comebacks in a single season in 2016 with 8. Fastest player to reach 20,000 career passing yards in 71 games. Fastest player to reach 30,000 career passing yards, 109. Fastest player to reach 40,000 career passing yards in 147 games. And then fastest player to reach 45,000 career passing yards in 165 games. This guy can throw.
And you got to think, he had some really bad injuries too there for on a couple of years where he didn't play 6, 7, 8 ball games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for them to have those records and everything like that, I think what it is, I think it's more along the lines of the ownership and the general manager there in Detroit. And I'm calling you guys out. I hope you guys are watching and paying attention.
Yeah.
They didn't want to spend the money to get him the weapons.
Yeah,
if he had the right weapons with the receivers and the offensive line to sit there and actually, protect him instead of him spending a lot of time on his back, because he gets sacked quite a bit because of the holes in that offensive line.
Yeah.
They could have been great. They could have been running roughshod through the NFC for years.
Yeah.
So I think Matthew Stafford just finally had enough and just said, I want out.
Yeah, because you got to think, Detroit Lions in the NFC North, you got a tough hill to climb against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. But you also got them Vikings who surprised a lot of people every so often, and you got the Chicago Bears, who we've been
It's
in
hit
and
and miss every
out
few
of that.
years.
Yeah, some years, but it's mainly a Green Bay Packer North, to say the least. Am I right?
Dude, I don't think you've been wrong ever since. Let's see, what was it? Super Bowl. I want to say Super Bowl 40, the Super Bowl 45 season,
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's been
Around
the
54.
Packers all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. This has just been the Green Bay has owned the North 9 times out of 10. But Detroit, I feel like, of course, their epic, Ofer season many moons ago. Not that actually, not even not that long ago. And now you're gonna flip. You're gonna turn the page on Matthew Stafford. You're gonna bring in Jared Goff, and to to have the idea that, granted, 2017 the Lions did sign Stafford for 135 or 135 million contract extension with the Lions, making him the highest paid player in NFL history at that time in 2017. So he's making bank. So my thought now is, and the questions that are going to be coming up, especially in this upcoming season, next couple seasons. Number one for Detroit, is this trade was this trade smart? Maybe on the books wise, to get rid of a contract, cap heavy and everything, probably was smart. But it's going to shed some light on this Detroit team of, was it the quarterback's fault that they were in this funk of, losing seasons, and especially this past season finishing 5-11, 1-5 in the division? Or was it the Detroit Lions management in not getting the weapons that they need to help Matthew Stafford and to get them into, second place, up in, contending for an NFC North title and even making the playoffs or even getting into a wild card spot?
See, I think even the fans up there in Detroit, and I feel for them. I do, because we've seen it ourselves, being fans of the Seahawks.
Clear.
Back when we were kids, it is tough to be a Detroit fan right now. It really is. I feel for their fans, because we went through that with the Seahawks when we were younger.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Unfortunately for Detroit,
so, I mean, hopefully
they have it worse. Let's just be honest. The Detroit fans have had it worse than us. You gotta think.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, when you go over, you can't get any much lower than that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Since I'm going to be generous, since the 2000s have rolled around, they have made the playoffs 3 times, and it wasn't in a 00 year. It was in a 10 year, from 2010 through 2020. They made the playoffs 3 times: 2011, 2014, and 2016. So you got to think and the last time they made the playoffs in 1999. So you go from 99 to 2011 without making sniffing the playoffs. There's some problems. You haven't won a division title in, heck, you haven't won a division title since 93 when it was the NFC Central. You haven't won a conference title since 1957 when it was NFL Western. And you haven't won a league title since 1957, the pre 1970 AFL NFL merger. So yeah, when I say Detroit has it worse, I have it. They have been worse. Why do you think I call them the Cardiac Cats? Clear.
all season ticket holders get a free defibrillator
and a paper bag to breathe into.
No, that's the Seahawks fans right there, dude. With how the heck some more games go, but
yeah,
you know,
and an oxygen tank.
really, honestly, they should be looking. They should be looking at how the coaching staff handles things, how the ownership handles things and their GM with free agency and the draft, because they have had the opportunity and ability to be really good. They have shown flashes of this in their 3 playoff runs in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, looking at what's coming up for Detroit in the draft, they're in the top 10. I mean, they're at their first pick is at number 7. So, I mean, at least of the current version I have for the draft, they're at number 7, and you pick at number 7. Number 7, that's a good spot, especially early in the draft. You're going to get a great player out, in the top 10, and depending on what you're going to use it for,
it's not going to be the shiny, sexy number 1 pick and everything like that. I mean, because we've seen it happen more times than not. The number 1 pick doesn't always live up to the hype. Now, in Matthew Stafford's case, being picked number 1 overall, with everything that you listed of what he's accomplished, he has quietly lived up to what he could potentially do.
But he's kind of lived under the mantra, the fact that he's been the Detroit Lion. He hasn't hit that playoff, at least a consistent playoff and elite level quarterback. He's been a great quarterback. But again, Detroit making the playoffs 3 times since 2000 started. Not the best, situation for him.
I'm going to be blunt. Detroit, the ownership and the coaching staff has really just kind of kicked Stafford there right in the nuts.
A swift kick in the crotch. But yeah,
it's like South Park. Eric Cartman playing. They're like Eric Cartman playing Rochambeau.
Yeah, and heck, even in just a random mock draft, Detroit looking to pick up Jalen Waddle at wide receiver. Would as a someone who random mock draft selection. I mean, of course, the first pick going Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville, Zach Wilson going to the Jets, Justin Fields going to the Dolphins, Jamar Chase wide receiver going to Atlanta, and Devontae Smith at 6 going to Philly. Jalen Waddle at wide receiver at number 7. If that was the case, looking at, just a mock draft for some, random person just for 2021, I think that getting a wide receiver and getting some tools for golf up there in Detroit, that's going to help immensely, especially when you got this new quarterback up there who can produce. It's been shown in LA. He can produce.
Oh, yeah, he can definitely produce.
Yep, he's been to a Super Bowl.
I apologize to my fellow Seahawks fans. I mean, look what he did against us in the playoffs in the wild card weekend.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, think
with a broken thumb after he had just come out of surgery, like 6 days freaking prior. No, 5 days prior. I'm sorry.
After we broke it
and play. After we broke it.
And
he comes back after surgery, and look what he did. He tore us up big time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and think this is a same. This is
I'm sorry,
LA
Seattle
Rams
fans.
team.
This is going to bring up painful memories.
Yeah, but remember, this is an LA Rams team that made it to what? Oh, like what? Last year's 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Super Bowl 53. I want to say.
Was it 2 years ago? I thought it was 3 years ago. I thought 2 years ago was the Eagles. I think they went to Super Bowl 52.
Give me a sec. No, it was 2 years ago. They played the Patriots. It was the low-scoring game, the 13-3 game.
Right, it was like 13-3. Yeah,
2019.
I mean, okay, yeah, they didn't get him a lot of offense done in that game and everything like that. It was just
yeah. So yeah, 2 years ago,
on either
Super
side
Bowl 53.
of that team. But yeah, But if you look at what they
Yeah.
did throughout the playoffs leading up to the Super Bowl, oh, dude, they were lighting up that scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
They were making it happen. They were marching that ball right down the field, and they were,
That's why they were the NFC West or the NFC West champs and the NFC champs. They ran the table 15-4 that year. Granted, they lost to the Patriots by 10 in a low scoring Super Bowl. Literally,
which in
score.
itself is a credit to the LA defense on that game, because we all know what the Patriots were capable of with Tom Brady at quarterback.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday, the Patriots were capable of throwing up 50 points a game. Easy.
Yeah. And Brady, literally, I have the stats for that. Brady threw for 21 completions, 35 attempts, 262, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception that game.
Exactly. Their one touchdown came when Brady handed the ball off in the red zone.
Yeah. There was no thrown touchdowns in this game because Goff threw 19 for 38, 19 completions for 38 attempts, 229, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. So this was a defensive-heavy game at 2 years ago. For at least we're looking back at the Rams and comparing. Looking at now that Goff is going to be gone and heading over to Detroit, it's going to bring up more questions on LA side. What are they going to do to help Matthew Stafford get to? Are they still going to be that threat, part of the three-headed monster that is called the NFC West, with Seattle, the Cardinal, and Rams? And of course, depending on what the Niners do in the offseason is if it's going to be an interchangeable, because you got to think the NFC West is a three-headed monster generally with interchangeable heads. Seahawks and the Rams.
In that division,
Rams.
One team doesn't do so hot one year. Don't sleep on them, because more times than not, and statistics will show, for the most part, with the NFC West, that team who kind of didn't do so well is going to come back and just go, yo, we're back to play.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to knock a team down to the 4th spot, and they're going to just keep them there. So I say again, the NFC West is a three-headed monster, and 2 of the heads are normally always set in stone, because the Rams and the Seahawks are normally the 2 teams, at least the last few years, have been set in stone. It's been the Cardinals and the Niners that have been interchangeable in that equation of who's going to be in the threat for, in the hunt for an NFC West title, depending on who else, how well,
or even the NFC
teams.
Championship by any stretch of the means. I mean, because any given year, any one of the NFC West teams could be a favorite to go to the NFC Championship game and actually could go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if it's not Green Bay, it's someone out of the NFC West, and no one. Let's just be real honest here. The NFC least ain't even a factor. You got the NFC North.
They haven't been a factor since the mid-90s when Staubach was playing when Aikman was playing for the Cowboys.
That's some long years, and dropping a little cowboy there without Cowboy Cam in the building. But yeah, so it's either Green Bay in the North, South. You've had the Saints, and at one time we had the Panthers and the Falcons, but that one's always changed, like again, another three-headed dragon down there in the South with Gumbo, Carolina, and a bird interchanging. But this year, Tampa Bay represented the NFC, which is awesome. And then, of course, the NFC West and the three-headed monster that is called the Seattle, LA, and whoever else between the Cardinals and the Niners is going to change out. So it's a lot of deciding factors, for the playoffs.
Yeah, so, that's the beautiful thing about the NFC. It is so unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Like
AFC,
and the AFC is now headed that direction since Brady left the AFC for the NFC.
yeah. Shockingly, you gotta
Um,
think, how long has
with
it been since a different AFC champion? There's been a different AFC champion, not including last year's uh, Kansas City. How many times would you say that it's been the Brady, AFC?
when did the Broncos go to the Super Bowl? 50.
Yes. No. 49. 49.
The Broncos? They went to 48. We beat the crap out of them. Well,
Yeah.
Seattle beat the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Super Bowl 50 is when they won it.
Super Bowl 50 is that's when they won it against Carolina.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just, it's usually been the Brady show.
Yeah, I'm just double checking to make sure, what I list of AFC champs. Come on.
I mean, let's start from 51 because with the Broncos winning Super Bowl 50.
So let's see. All right. So I'll even 2000. Patriots in 01, Patriots in 03, 4, 4. Patriots were there in 07. Patriots were there in 11, 14, 16, 17, 18. So, yeah, the 2000s have been the Patriot way in the AFC. Besides two Chiefs, two Denver Broncos,
championships, two Denver Broncos, a Raiders, and and a couple of Steelers.
Steelers and Ravens.
Super Bowl appearances. Oh, yes, and the Ravens, Super Bowl 47 champions.
And a surprise two-time Colt.
Oh, yes, the Colts. That's right. Super Bowl 42 and
yes, 2006 and 2009.
Yeah. That's right. 42, and I believe it was Super Bowl 44 as well that the Colts were there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a lot of craziness. It's been a dominant AFC for Brady, but now it's starting to turn into Patrick Mahomes' world up there in the AFC.
I think we're going to have some really good battles here in the AFC because the Bills, I think they're just going to keep going up as well. So I think we're going to see some very good matchups between Josh Allen and the Bills and Kansas and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Bills, they've been quietly building that team up for a few years now.
This has been a quietly built team. And do not sleep on them Dolphins now. They've woken up.
No, Tagovailoa, there now as their quarterback. Kind of tag teaming with
Fitz.
Well, yes, with
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
With Fitzpatrick there and the receiving core that they have there, and then the running game that they have too.
Yeah. So that AFC East is just going to be.
They're just missing a few pieces there on defense. There, the Dolphins, they're going to make some noise as well.
Yeah. Even at picking at number 3 this year, I think the Dolphins can pick up some more tools, but it's all going to depend on what they're going to, make the decision. I mean, I think they made the decision that Tua is going to be their starter going forward. So if they can get more tools, more weapons for Tua to throw to, or even to hand the ball off to, I think that they can make a real threat with the Bills and make it a one game, deciding factor come December between these two teams.
I'll completely agree with you on this one. So, I mean, it's it's definitely going to be interesting to see who's going to emerge to kind of claim that vacant crown of we are the kings of the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that crown belongs to Kansas City.
The crown of the AFC East, at least right now. But, yeah. So, a lot of things to decide. I mean, coming up after Super Bowl, the questions of who's going to get picked up in the draft for everyone. What is everyone going to be thinking? Of course, free agency of who's going to be picked, signed and picked up, exchanging teams, the trades and everything. Um,
and the coaching changes. I mean, I know we've
and the
seen some of
coaching
it already
changes.
happening, but
Oh yeah,
but there's always more starting next Monday, right after the Super Bowl.
yep. New
Because
business.
I mean, it's in the bylaws of the team must be officially eliminated from the playoffs, or the season must officially be over after the Super Bowl before you can officially interview coaching staff members
Yep.
of those
The
teams.
teams are still in, but yeah, that's literally in several days, guys. I mean, we're so close to being over with the 2020 season and then moving on, starting March with the 2021 season. And even more questions, to come up, after the draft. I mean, is this going to be a chance for the season to have bring back our preseason? Because if we can get preseason back, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be looking great come start. If we get even if we get 2 preseason games, half of a normal season preseason game schedule, I think we can get a lot of these teams to fit. Teams that probably were not uh that were hurt this year,
Fully prepared.
fully prepared. I mean, think about it. Patriots last year, they were a top team. I mean, yeah, they had Brady, but the fact that this year they had Cam Newton, they did no preseason, they were hurting from the word go, and also the fact that they lost a lot of people for players saying, "Hey, we're not going to play this season. We're sitting at home with COVID, due to COVID. We opted out." Okay, that put them in a bind. And then you got other teams, uh, Buccaneers, Seahawks, a lot of these top, even Broncos, Raiders, a lot of all these teams could have used preseason to figure, get their pieces all correct. Who's going to fit what's our, situation for um, getting some of these kinks worked out, because training camp, training camp, and then season, boom, this past year. It was rough for a lot of teams to
That's
go
an understatement for a lot of these teams.
from half speed, to starting to get into that full speed mentality, and then just to go shoot out of the cannon into the season.
Yeah, for some teams, they were able to make it work. Like the Buccaneers, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, Green Bay. Those guys who've got their pieces pretty well locked into place in most areas. Honestly, I think any one of those teams could have been a lot more dangerous had we had the preseason, and we could have figured out, okay, this guy works better here with these guys and this kind of setup and everything, instead of trying to figure it out on the fly.
Week 1
versus, and then you got other teams like like Jacksonville, New York,
the NFC East,
the entirety of the NFC East, yes, who all just went, like Wile E. Coyote dropping the anvil, getting the anvil dropped on him by Roadrunner.
You mean like this?
Nothing. But yeah,
then it's probably on my side. But yeah, just a fall off the cliff for all these teams, unfortunately. Especially NFC East. I mean, they could have really, really used these early preseason games to figure out what's going to work and see how everything was going to flow this year. Just to go week 1
honestly, I think
trying
the
to figure out
Cowboys
on the
could
fly.
have ran that entire table throughout the entire NFC East if Prescott doesn't have that absolutely horrific
Ugh.
ankle injury.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we have all seen the videos more than once, and anybody who's ever watched The Blind Side, that play gets shown. Redskins and Giants. Oh, I know, taboo name. I'm sorry. When Lawrence Taylor sacks Joe Theismann and Joe Theismann breaks his leg.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's about the closest thing we got the comparison to. That's literally how bad it looked for Prescott when that happened to him.
Ugh. Yeah, just brutal. But
it was absolutely brutal, and I think that's what really killed the Dallas season there. And
yeah, because you're figuring
and
you have
I
to
hope
go
of
to a
a speedy
backup and to a
recovery and
backup.
that he goes very well when he comes back.
Uh-huh. And again, preseason, I think, again, if they have a preseason, they can slowly get Dak back into a football feel and the football speed, once he's cleared, to get him reacclimated and get his feet under, besides, training camp and, preseason workout stuff. The preseason games are a must, especially for injured players, to get their feet back under their ground, to get their feet under their ground again, and to get back into that season mentality and their body back to, we need to go straight.
I mean, you cannot go from 0 to 100 in like 0.2 seconds.
No, you need time to work that.
You can't do it in playing any sports.
No.
And and that's even just coming from me as somebody who I've coached a youth football before, and I've had some of my kids get injured and stuff like that. You couldn't just rush them right back. You had to build them right back up, through practice that week and everything like that. And check on them. He's like, hey, are you doing all right? Everything like that. That's what Jerry Jones and the Cowboys need to do for Prescott, because that's their due to the future right there.
Yeah, that's
their quarterback.
Dak is their franchise quarterback, ladies and germs, and he will be getting paid. By the time we get into 2021 business and we're getting close to the season, we're gonna see something on ESPN, on Sports Center, or on the NFL Network. Breaking news: Dak Prescott got paid. They just backed up.
He's going to get his paycheck.
Yeah, they're like, call Fort Knox. We need to get this man his money now. Just back it in. Do you want cash
back
or
up
gold
one of those
bricks?
440 LeBaire haul trucks that can haul 440 tons. So what is it like? It's like 880,000 pounds worth of money right there.
Yeah, but it's more like, hey, do you want cash, or do you want to just take in the gold bricks of how much this guy's probably gonna get paid from Jerry?
Exactly.
But
when he comes back with the weapons that they have there, watch out for Dallas.
Oh yeah. Well, watch out for the NFC East if they can get back to some prominent of respectability. But I'm not holding my breath. Realistically, I'll wait. Either. Give me a season of, let me see what Dallas and maybe the NFC East can do before I stop laughing and false believing in anything what they're doing down there.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll even put it bluntly. I will stop. I'll start, believing once Stephen A. Smith stops laughing at the NFC East.
You're only going to wait till then?
Trust me, it'll be interchangeable.
I'll stop laughing when an NFC East team makes the NFC Championship game.
Actually, you might want to scratch that and actually says wins an NFC Championship game.
They got to make it their first to win it.
True, but
do we need to go back over the Romo fumble?
No, we don't.
Field goal years ago.
Oh, he can't hold the snap.
Oh man, I sorry, Cowboy Cam. Forgive me.
I'm not. All right, so let's. I think we should kind of move a little bit towards, talk a little bit more about Super Bowl business.
Let's do it.
So of course we already know that there actually will be fans in the stands at Raymond James Stadium for Super Bowl 55. 7,500 will be medical workers as a token of appreciation and thank you very much to the healthcare workers. They will be in attendance for this great event. And of course, the
Yeah,
rest.
there's quite a few of them coming from every NFL city. The vast majority of them are going to be from the Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg area, right there. So, good on the NFL for hooking them up with the free Super Bowl tickets for that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, 77,500 healthcare workers. The NFL's gift to our most important MVPs, people who have literally put everything on the line to help us as a nation recover from COVID-19. There will be, so you take out the 75,000, there will be about, math wise.
I think the last number I saw was like another 14,500. So I think it's like a total like 22,000 people will be in attendance at the Super Bowl. It's only about roughly just a little over a third of their entire seating capacity.
About 17,500 people will be in attendance for fans. There will be 17,500 fans in the stands, doing the 25, take away 75,000 for the healthcare workers. And there is going to be some, changes, big changes. There's going to be a 20-foot buffer from fans and team personnel with LED screens covering several rows of each section. So you're going to have, there's going to be some big old LEDs, probably virtual fans, whatnot, or, sponsors, whatever. Only a third of the seats will be filled with fans. The remaining seats will not be all empty. There will be cutouts. About 30,000 cutouts are going to bring our stadium together. That's what I'm reading from the NFL. So it will look full, but it won't be full at the same time. If that's an understatement.
Well, during these years of uncharted waters and everything like that, and honestly, I kind of expect next year's Super Bowl to do the same thing. Maybe 2 years from now, we can all get together, 80,000 people packed into a stadium, and we'll throw a big old party for Super Bowl 57.
Oh yeah. Shoot, where are they? I forgot where they're going to be at for Super Bowl 57 for that.
Las Vegas, I think. Because I think they're going to SoFi next year in LA, and I think it's Vegas the year after that.
Future. Oh, no, I don't want furniture sales. I want future sites. Oh, future locations. All right. Bring that quickly up on my side, on my end. All right. Future sites for Super Bowl. Super Bowl 2020. Okay, that's Raymond. Okay, so next year's Super Bowl will be in LA at SoFi Stadium. Super Bowl 57 will be back in Arizona at the Big Toaster in Arizona. We don't know where Super Bowl 58 is going to be. We know where Super Bowl 59 is going to be. It'll be back in Louisiana at the Superdome in 2025. So we know through 2025 where locations are, except for 2024. That one is still up in the air.
That one I think is probably going to Vegas. At least that's just what I would think. I mean, honestly, Sin City hosting the Super Bowl, massive tourism that's already there, and then you throw the Super Bowl in on a weekend.
Yeah, that's money right there.
Hello.
That's money to print.
That just screams money. Roger Goodell, I hope you're listening. You would be stupid to not award the Super Bowl to Vegas for that year.
Yeah.
Get it together, man. Let's do it.
So, yeah, I mean, next year, well, again, it's all going to depend, at least for next year, for 2022, Super Bowl 56 in LA, it's all going to depend on what happens going into the winter this coming year. So it may look somewhat like this year's Super Bowl, but maybe a little bit better. I mean, look like maybe more fans there, but it's all going to depend on what happens, what the world is going to be saying. I would think probably
Yeah,
by
let's see what happens. We're still in
2023.
uncharted waters, and we're not quite out of the woods yet on this thing.
No. So I'm thinking maybe 23, maybe by 24, we're in that area where we can have a lot of fans back, maybe even back to full capacity. So, but again, that's
That's
talk
kind of what
for
I'm hoping
future.
for.
That's talk for future shows.
Let's get
and
back to the
everything.
present right here.
Let's get
4
back-
days from now, Super Bowl 55. When this thing kicks off, oh man, it is in my opinion, probably one of the best defensive battles that we're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to think, we got to look at this. The last two winners of the AFC Championship game have gone on to win that respective Super Bowl. Tom Brady 2 years ago, Patrick Mahomes last year. They're now facing each other in the Super Bowl for the Lombardi Trophy. You know, both of those quarterbacks are going and talking to their defenses and telling them, look, this is what this guy will throw at you. This is what he's going to try to do. These are the different looks he may give you, may not give you. Don't get sucked into a false sense of security.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be one hell of a game this year. Let's just put it out there. I'm not going to, I'm going to say that this is not going to be a Super Bowl from 2 years ago where it's going to be a low scoring game. This is going to be a game where there's
points are going to be
scored. And there's going to be a lot of excited fans, KC and in Tampa Bay, who are going to be at the edge of their seats every drive. Be like, dude, this is some great action going on.
I think they're predicting this to be one of the highest rated Super Bowls per Nielsen ratings in.
Well, you got to think of
years.
Where we're at right now.
I think it's actually about ready to surpass Super Bowl. I think the next high. I think one of the next highest one was 48 with the Seahawks and the Broncos a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That one had huge ratings on that one. It's.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, what this thing's going to come down to, I think, is fourth quarter, last 2 minutes. Toss a coin, pick a team who's going to try to make a final drive.
Oh.
Because honestly, it could be either one of them.
And it's not just
it's going to come down to that
field goal.
Opposing defense.
It's not going to be just to go for a field goal.
Do they want it or not?
It's going to be going for a touchdown.
They're going to need the touchdown to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to come down to, is that defense going to bend, not break, or is that defense going to get broken? Who's going to stand strongest at the end, defensive-wise?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a great Super Bowl this coming Sunday. It will be on CBS. 3:30 kickoff time. The Weeknd doing the halftime show this year. Their big hit, Bright Lights. If you guys remember, it was the WrestleMania 37 theme that was supposed to be in Raymond James Stadium, but they're going to get a repeat. We'll get to that part tomorrow, but I'm just saying because the wrestling mind knows because they did the theme song for us for this past WrestleMania, and they're now doing the halftime show for this year at Super Bowl in the same building as WrestleMania last year and this year with fans.
Man, you got to feel for that stadium crew there because as soon as the Super Bowl's over, you got to start getting ready for Mania.
Well, you'll have a month. Actually, we'll get to that tomorrow.
A little over 2 months. It's like 6.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah, we'll go to the end of that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get into that tomorrow.
Our viewers, I want to open this up to you guys a little bit too. Throw some comments up here. What do you guys think is going to happen in the Super Bowl? Defensive battle, high-scoring affair? I mean, because we're just two knuckleheads who really don't know much.
I mean, to a point. I mean, we watch the games and we're enjoying it, but even more so on the before we get to our picks, just one little quick caveat. Uh, the we watch the Super Bowl. The commercials. A lot of heavy hitters not this year not going to be participating that we normally see, like Budweiser. They're not getting into it. Coca-Cola's not getting into it. Just a lot of the big names are gonna take that money that they would have spent on a commercial and put it towards COVID relief and what, of course, whatever whatever they want for the COVID to help. So,
Well, good on them. And you know what? And actually, this is where I got to give a lot of props to the Coca-Cola company on this, because when this whole thing first started, uh, to my knowledge, they were one of the first companies to actually give their employees pay time off for it. And this is actually when I was working for them, to where, if you got tested for it, tested positive for it, you were given 2 weeks off with pay. So, good on the Coca-Cola company for doing that. Budweiser, same thing. Good for you guys, because some of their guys that I talked to, we get paid time off if we get tested or diagnosed with it. So, we've been on some uncharted waters. So, yeah, we're not going to see some of our bigger names for our sponsors here for the Super Bowl, for the commercials we look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing the Budweiser commercial, the Coca-Cola commercial, Doritos, and Pepsi.
And any other ones that will bring up some funny moments.
Oh, I mean, who could ever forget Super Bowl 43? In my opinion, and please, if you guys have a disagreement with this, please let me know. I'd love to talk with you about this. The greatest commercial, I think, ever in Super Bowl history was the Miller High Life guy. 2 seconds, High Life, and that was it.
I'm actually going to one up you, one of the best commercials, and unfortunately, this one kind of ties into the most patriotic Super Bowl in history, because it was the night after the 9/11 attacks, and it was the Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdales paying a visit to outskirts of New York, and they did the little kneel down for tribute for 9/11.
That commercial is in a league of its own.
Yep,
nothing will ever touch that.
No one.
So no one could ever touch that. That one's just in a league of its own, and it will forever stay there. Nothing will ever match that one.
Mm-hmm. Because Budweiser always does.
Because I can go back and watch that thing on YouTube, and I can, it still hits you right in the feels.
Oh yeah. All right. We've talked enough about what's been going on out on the outside of football, or on the outside of Super Bowl. We've talked a little bit about the quarterbacks, in all honesty. We talked about the teams, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty, because it's time for the picks, the final picks of the season, of the 2020 season. We're making our Super Bowl 55 picks for the final time this year. Man, it's been a long, long season. And you know what? I have some, for you, AJ, I have some good news, because if you remember, you were here on the Christmas edition.
The week of Christmas week.
Yep. And you, my good sir, won the week.
Oh, really? How about that?
You won the week with an 11-5 tally that week. So he made some good picks, guys. He even picked the Monday night game correct. I mean, you were 9 points under that final score, but you had already won the week, so the score didn't matter. You were one up on me and Cowboy Cam at 10-6. So, and you literally blew Mike out of the water at an even 8.
Well, and honestly, most of those picks, I was just kind of going with just my gut on that one. I guess what they say is true. Trust your gut.
Oh yeah. So we already know the season's already done for us here at the Flex Network. We already have our champion of the world in Flex Mike. He has won the season at 171, 94, and 1. Cowboy had a chance during championship week, but he went and split the dreaded NFC AFC championship games. He needed both to pick up the win and to make Super Bowl 55 interesting and have a shot at tying and get that score tie breaker. But unfortunately, Flex Mike is your grand champion for the year. Unfortunately for me, I'm sitting in the basement. I hit the 100 loss mark at 165, 100.
You did worse than the Seattle Mariners.
Don't. It's not baseball season yet, man. Come on. Let me enjoy football. Let me enjoy hockey for the next several months. Literally,
several weeks, actually.
Several months, because they're going hockey just every day is hockey for the next months. But baseball season upcoming.
All right, well, let's get down to this. Let's get down to these picks here.
All right, so I have the final picks from the other two gentlemen for Cowboy Cam and Mike. We'll interchange. I'll tell you who they picked. We'll do either or one of us, and then we'll just offset on both sides. But our final picks for the year, let's get into it. Cowboy Cam, starting us off, he believes that this Super Bowl champ is going to repeat in the Kansas City Chiefs. He has taken the Chiefs with a total point score of 52 in this final game. AJ, where are you at in this final pick?
What I'm at with this is that we're going to have some high scoring. We're going to have some high scoring offenses here between both the teams and the defense. It's going to come down to the nitty gritty here. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs to repeat with total of, you know what? They're throwing up 76 combined points in this game.
Wow.
Chiefs 41, Patriots 34. Not Patriots, but the Buccaneers 34.
Bucks. Okay. Wow. You going high. You going high number on this game. This is going to be a good one.
Just seeing what both of these quarterbacks can do, it's very possible.
Okay, so you and Cam are on the Kansas City side of the field. Well, make room for Flex Mike, as he is also joining Chiefs Nation, and he is going 56 points on this Super Bowl, which leaves the Snowman. Oh boy. The Snowman can maybe pick and join you guys over there on the sidelines of the Kansas City Chiefs and maybe pick a repeat champ, a 2-time straight champ, back-to-back champs, or he could join the Jolly Roger and make history as a host city wins the Super Bowl. Which is what I'm going to do, because I believe that this is a perfect Hollywood script you can't write. That you have
Spielberg already couldn't have written this better. Okay,
Spielberg couldn't write this better. That Tampa Bay finishes second in the NFC South. They finish as the number 5 seed in the tournament. They beat the Saints. They are in wild card. They beat. Oh shoot! Wild card. Yeah.
Whatchamacallits.
They beat the whatchamacallits handily in the wild card. Division weekend, they beat the Saints, who's been smacking them all season long in their 2 games.
And they beat them convincingly.
Oh yeah, beat them convincingly, 30-20. They go to the championship game, the NFC title game, and they hand Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, mind you. No home games for these Buccaneers on the high seas. They went to Green Bay, the frozen tundra of Green Bay, beat them 31-26, and now we're hosting. It may be neutral, but they are hosting this Super Bowl in Tampa Bay with the Jolly Roger docked right in the stadium, tied up, and waiting for that final horn and final whistle to let them cannons go. So give me a pirate sword, give me the parrot, give me the eye patch, give me the captain's hat, because I'm swinging the sword with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and winning Super Bowl 55. And I'm picking 50 points for this game.
All right.
And Alex Torres, check another Alex Torres. Brady and the Bucks. He's jumping on board with me on this ship. Alex Torres picking up the Brady and the Bucks are going to win this. Man, what a season, guys! That was our final picks for the season. Holy heck, we've made it. All right, guys. That is going to be it for us. We made the final picks of the season. We're going to see what happens at Super Bowl 55 this Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, the holiday. Basically, it should be a holiday.
It's the day after.
And the day after. Because everyone's too drunk on beer and alcohol, full with pizza, wings, nacho cheese, and anything else that they could get their hands on to enjoy the day on this great Super Bowl weekend.
Now, on that, everybody enjoy themselves, enjoy the game, everything like that. If you guys do partake of the alcoholic beverages, don't drink and drive. Yes, absolutely. Drink responsibly. Think of your loved ones and everything like that. I don't want to hear people getting hurt or killed because they're drinking and driving.
Well, just stay home and drink.
Enjoy the game.
Oh yeah, a little public service announcement from over here at the Flex Network. But yeah, that is going to be it for us guys for this week in review show for the NFL. We will be back next week to close out the 2020 season, guys, before we take a little break here on these airwaves for the NFL side of the world. I mean, we'll occasionally pop in there, but the season comes to a close this Sunday, guys. We're almost there. We're almost out. We'll crown a world champion this Sunday. But I will be back tomorrow. And hey, Anthony, what are you doing tomorrow?
I think I'm going to be coming back on the Flex Network, and we're going to be talking some WWE wrestling.
We're going to be talking wrestling.
Got a lot to discuss tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We got the Royal Rumble that we got to discuss. We got Monday Night Raw. We've got NXT that's going on tonight. This is what's coming up on SmackDown Friday.
And AEW.
So
talk about Dynamite.
Oh, yes, AEW.
Beach Blast.
Be sure to tune in because, trust me, it's a party when we get discussing wrestling.
Oh, yeah. So we'll be back. I will be back with Anthony tomorrow on the Flex Network wrestling side of the world on that. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow us everywhere. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. You can find
share
us.
This, get us out
friends.
There.
Share us with your friends, share us with your loved ones, share us with people you haven't talked to in a while, but know they love sports.
Share with coworkers.
Oh yeah. Share with the office. You can follow us at the Flex Network 1 on Facebook and on Twitter for your football and fantasy football content. And on the other side of the world, gotta plug the wrestling. Yeah, come on. You can follow us at _ PWE Elite for your wrestling content, which we'll be doing tomorrow, Thursday, 6:30 Pacific time at night. We'll be here again tomorrow. And then of course on YouTube, you can find us on YouTube at not the Flex Network, but it's Flex Network and Flex Network Wrestling for your content right there. And then of course we are on the podcast. We're everywhere for podcasts. We're on the Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there. But if we're not there, let us know. We'll get there. We'll flex on them, and we'll bring you more podcasts so you can take us on the road with you. But that is going to be it for us, guys. Enjoy Super Bowl 55. Enjoy the weekend. We will see you, the Snowman and Anthony will see you guys tomorrow on the wrestling podcast. Anything you guys say before we peace out?
It's been one crazy season. Let's see what happens next year.
Well, let's end it with a bang.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So that for Anthony, I am the Snowman, and we are going to see you guys later. Peace out.
Have a good night, guys.